Yeah. Basically brand new tires. I don't know how many miles on them. 500,000 maybe. There's a box elder beetle. Their tread is pretty much super cheap. I don't know what that is. Inch. Moving on. Here's your air brake. Front passenger. There's just surface rust on all this stuff. The worst of it's kind of on these lowest pieces, of course. On the main, you can even see the paint there. So like wire brush, and that's clean, brand new. There's a little bit on the frame there, but the frame's painted underneath the dust. There's a spare, full-size spare with a pretty decent tread. Coming underneath the front, here's your front axle, you know, and your other airbag, and I don't know what this shaft goes to, which is kind of goofy. There's like a, oh, that's the steering, because the steering wheel's actually up over there. But anywho, brand new air leveler thing here for the front, keeping it balanced nice. The hoses, I noticed they have this like rubber coating, but the coating's cracking off, but the hose is still fine. So I don't know about that. Most of the wiring's run through the frame. These nice, clean aircraft bundles, I think it's called. But, oh yeah, here's the rear tire. Same as the front. See the difference there. And there's dualies. So here's your rear leveler. Those are a little crusty, but you know, wire brush again. So that thing there is your shifter, air shift from the front. So it takes a little while for the pressure to build and the shift to go at first until your air pressure's all the way up. But if it ever gets stuck, or like sometimes an animal, or like we drove through some grass apparently when we drove it around the yard here the other day, but you just bump this and it'll go slide in and out. There's like a lever thing, and it's in neutral now. I don't want to take it out because I might forget. But anyway, so that just bumps in and out. Here's the muffler and such, and that's the transmission, and there's your rear axle and such. We haven't done the fluid on that. Looks like it's leaking a little, probably. Maybe that's water from that wouldn't make sense. I'll look into that. But we haven't changed that fluid yet, and we just did oil and fuel filter and coolant, and next also is a transmission filter and fluid, but we didn't, you know, we haven't got to it. We don't use the thing. So here's the rear. 2-inch hitch. It's rated for 10K. The manual. That's your water separator there. Here's your hydraulic reservoir. There's a hydraulic pump that fans the radiator, and then also does your power steering from the front. So there's hoses that run all the way to the front. That's your compressor and your giant alternator. That's the manual. Actually has the rebuild instructions and part numbers and stuff, so you can totally rebuild that. Also the manual for this engine's in there. Total manual, engine service manual. So as we have the chassis manual. Here's the AC for the cab or the driver, but that's long since seized. We don't even know. You know, there's enough pulley on that, so we didn't have that ever. That's your fuel filter. That's your back relay control box deal. Really doesn't work. We basically just made sure there was fuses and breakers and bypassed all the switches because they all froze before we got it. Here's your generator. Propane generator runs. All the start and stop buttons for that work, which is really cool because you can start it from the bed, like right inside here, which is neat. Your radiators in there, hey? And this is your fill for that, and your oil fill is here for the engine there. I don't know what else there's. That's pretty clean for something that's 83, made 83, sold 84 kind of thing. Here's your back other tire. We had these all shined up the other year with you take a Brillo pad and shine up that rust, and oh man, shiny. So here's the gray and black water tanks on the side here, and that's your fuel tank. Wait, I think that's the fuel tank. Or no, that's your water tank. And your fuel tank's up here for some reason. Yeah, this is the fuel tank up here. It's a great big tank, 150 or 200 gallons or something. Just replaced the fuel meter, or the fuel gauge mechanism or whatever. The float was bad, so we put a new thing like that in there. It's been winterized, and so it hasn't come out of winter mode yet. It just needs a little paint. Previous owner had had matching paint and everything, but it just like came right off. So I don't know. It needs a new amber light up there, and we have the other. There's 2 air horns. We have the other air horn. I don't know where I put it. It's in here somewhere. Here's the front tire. I forgot to show it. Okay, we have a ton of keys for this thing, which is kind of fun. And so there's a key for the fuel and the key for the water. And here's your brand new hot water heater. Never even really been used besides testing. So I think this is the access to the back of what was the fridge and stove combo. I don't know. It's probably getting to be kind of long now. No backup camera, so you have to either be competent with a big rig or install a backup camera. All the awnings are present and accounted for, minus a couple of them. That corner bracket apparently is made of some cheap forged stuff, so they just crack apart, so you gotta be real gentle with them, but you can get them on the onlines for like $10 or something, no big deal. But yeah, all the awnings are, and the original awnings are all present. This one comes all the way out, creates a really nice space. Hornets love it, so watch out. And then I guess I'll show you the roof, because what about water leak? So I should tell you, when we got it, we had a feeling there was a leak in the back in the bedroom, and you can see that in some of the photos. There's your rear AC unit. This one works. But we were like, oh, there's a leak. So we investigated and sealed and resealed everything. Went walls to the wall, just went at it. And so everything at that time, at least up to there, is sealed. I forget if the solar panel works, and it's actually quite productive. Yeah, I think it needs a nut on the bottom. And we have the other bell, like I mentioned. This is the front AC, and I think some bees got in there and messed with the wire. One day it worked, the next day it didn't. So, wasn't a fuse, wasn't anything, it worked just fine, it wasn't jammed. So, probably just the wire. I don't got time for it. Anywho, really nice space up here. So, we've been at campsites where we had a tree on both sides and the low limb, so you come up here and just hang out on the limb. Awful nice. That's where your camera goes. I recommend one you can move if you want, so it's like wireless, and then you can get a magnet and put it in the bumper or whatever. So you can calm down. It's really quite a majestic creature, the Beaver. We call it the Space Beaver because it's got a section in the manual called Life Support Systems, which is awful fun. Any more questions? Let me know.